Welcome back to 3F Fishing. Today we're talking my 5 best tips for pike fishing in 2023 so you can become a better fisherman. Let's go. When I first got started fishing, I realized now that I had no idea what I was doing. I was fishing the wrong water, fishing the wrong baits, fishing with the wrong rods, fishing in the wrong water, fishing in the wrong conditions. I had no idea what I was doing. So I realized that I've spent so much time on the water, just completely a waste of time. But I will share 5 things for your pike fishing today that I wish that I knew when I got started. So hopefully this can make you a better fisherman. So here we go. Tip number 1 is to use the right color for your bait. You know, colors really matters for your baits. If you're fishing muddy waters, you want colors that really pop out, stand out, because naturally if there's mud in the water or if the water is colored, there's no visibility. So you need something to really stand out for the fish to see it. It's the same for us. When you swim underneath the water and it's really colored, you have a visibility of a meter or something like that, you just cannot see if it's too far away or if it's just too natural colored. So you fishing muddy waters or color waters, use chartreuse, white, something that's really popping. You can even use pink colors or things like that. But at the same time, if you're fishing water that's super clear, then you want something that's very natural looking, because otherwise you'll scare the fish away. If you can see something underneath the water 20 meters away or 10 meters away, and you can really see far off that thing is just shining bright, then you're not gonna want to attack that bait. But if you have something that looks like a fish, something natural colored, then the fish will be attracted to it and be interested in checking it out. So that's my first tip. Make sure you're using the right bait color. Tip number 2 is retrieval speed. You know, I used to fish all my baits the same way. I just reel them in quite fast. My first pike reel was Shimano Tranx in high speed, and I used to crank that thing really fast. And soon after, I realized that I was cranking it too fast. The fish couldn't cope with it. And I realized when it comes to retrieval speed, you actually have to adjust your retrieval speed depending on temperature of water, what season you're in. But here's my things that I try to think about. When it's cold in the water, make sure you retrieve slowly, because the fish are inactive. They're quite stationary in their spots, and they want to conserve energy. So what you want to do is retrieve your bait really slow, because then you'll have more time in the water for your bait, and the fish have more time to react and more time to see your bait. On the contrary, when it's warm, the water is hot, the fish are super active, maybe it's in the summer or maybe in the spring, then you can really use speed in your retrieval, because then you need something that actually trigger those pikes. So make sure you think about what's the temperature in the water, what's the temperature in the air, what season are you in, and make sure that if it's spring, maybe summer, make sure you can retrieve a little bit faster. When it's cold, winter, or maybe late autumn, make sure you slow down your speed, because that will make a big difference in your fishing for pike 2023. Tip number 3 that I wish I knew that when I got started fishing, that I know now, that I will teach you guys. And the third thing is that fish go through different seasons. Like we do. We have spring, summer, fall, winter, and the fish have that as well. And the thing with pikes is that they are predators, and they really follow where the food goes. So that's something you can think about when you go out fishing. It's like, where are the bait fish? Where is the food? So when it comes to summer fishing, the pikes are all in the grass, because the bait fish, they hide in the grass. When you have your fall transition, late summer, the grass dies down, and that's when the bait fish goes out. go out through to the depth instead, because they cannot hide in the grass. They don't, the grass don't produce any oxygen anymore, so the bait fish goes, and after the pike goes as well. So in the fall you'll have your bait fish in those clouds of bait fish balls, basically in the pelagic, and the pikes follow. So you'll see the pikes following that bait fish, and they will be underneath the bait fish or just around it. So that's something to think about. So summer grass, fall transition, you'll have both grass and pelagic fish. Fall fishing or late fall fishing, you'll definitely have the pelagic fishing going on. During winter, the pikes will be a little bit more stationary. They will still follow the bait fish and try to hide in structure like rock, like edges of islands and things like that, because they cannot hide in the grass. When it comes to the spring fishing, they will hide in whatever grass they can find, but also some other structures. So find structures, because the pikes are predators. They're hiding, they are attacking, they're really opportunistic. So they're really looking for opportunities where they can attack those baits. So follow the seasons, think about where the grass is, think about where the bait fish goes, and try and think like a pike thinks, and you'll have so much success fishing in 2023. Tip number four for pike fishing 2023 that I wish that I knew when I got started is bait size. The bait size really matters. You know, you can go super big when you're confident and in the right seasons when fishing for pike, but there's times we actually need to downsize, and it's not just day to day, but it's actually more about seasons, the temperature of the water, and the behavior of the pike. So typically when you're fishing post spawn fishing, those pikes attack everything. Summer fishing, go big. Fall fishing, go big. But when you go into late fall and you go into winter fishing, well, I would say that you need to downsize a little bit more than usual. And when the temperatures drop, the fish are more inactive, so they want a snack or a bite that's easy to grab. And so that's why I want to downsize a little bit during winter, typically, because you really want something that's easy to grab on and easy to take and easy to swallow, basically, for the pikes. You can also go big during the winter, but you really need to be throwing those baits right at the pikes for them to bite. But generally, post-spawn, summer fishing, fall fishing, go big, and I'm talking 25-30 centimeter baits. When it comes to late fall, winter, downsize a little bit. You can go down, I mean, you can fish 15 centimeter baits and even less than that, but I typically go 20 centimeters, something like that, and more heavier jig heads to get down to the bottom properly where the pikes are stationary. So that's my tip number 4. Make sure that you think about what size of bait you're using, and that will make you much more successful when fishing for pike in 2023. My 5th and last tip for pike fishing that I wish that I knew when I got started is that pikes have really this super clear strike time slots. What does that mean? Well, basically that means that if you know a spot where the pikes are you just know that they are there, you can actually be standing there fishing for a full day just in one spot the whole day, because you know that the fish are there. It's just a matter of timing. I wish that I knew better when I got started, because I would fish a spot that I'd heard or maybe knew that I got in the fish before, and I fished there for like 10 minutes, and if I didn't catch anything, I'd just move on and say, no, there's no fish there today. But that's not right. The fish are there. You're definitely there. And it's all about timing. Fishing some tournaments and studying the time slots where people got fish, it's super clear. If you're fishing the same water, it's super clear that every team almost always get the fish in the exact same times, and it's super clear time slots. And to me, it's a little bit of a mystery of when that is. It could be different seasons, different times during the day, but it's definitely, it's like us humans. We eat lunch around noon and we have dinner around 6 p.m. And it's the same for fish. They have their lunch, they have their dinner, they have their breakfast. They have 3 or 4 striking zones throughout the day, and they are super clear. So what that means is you need to have patience. If you go to a spot where you know the fish are located, make sure you stay there enough time so you can cover those strike times throughout the day, and you will be so much more successful fishing pike 2023. All right, that was my 5 tips for fishing pike 2023 that I wish and I knew when I got started. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys got something out of it, and I'm sure that if you apply these 5 tips, you'll definitely be a much more successful fisherman. Thanks guys for watching. See you in the next one.